Hey folks, Will here. Today we are looking at a Colt Woodsman Series 2 handgun, and we're going to talk about how to remove the extractor and the firing pin from the slide assembly. So at this point we have removed the slide assembly from the handgun, and if you need a little assistance with that, I have a video out there for that as well. Please check it out. But at this point, we have already removed the slide from the handgun, and so we are ready to start removal of the extractor and the firing pin. We're going to start by removing the extractor. So the extractor is up here on the front of the slide, and it runs back and it comes out the back of the slide about midway through the slide assembly in this slot right here. This is what the extractor looks like when it's been removed, and you'll notice that in the back of it there's the slot right here where you can engage a screwdriver. And so that's what we're going to attempt to do in this first little bit here. I'm going to take a dummy round, and I'm going to actually set a dummy round in here like this under the extractor, and what that does is it pushes the extractor out of the little slot that it's normally in, and that's going to help us to rotate it a little bit easier. So just go ahead and set your dummy round in the extractor like that, and then we'll come back here and kind of follow this slot right here up, engage that slot on the back of the extractor. Kind of have to do it by feel because you can't really see it, and then once you start to rotate it out, the dummy round will drop out. Rotate it over 180 degrees from its starting position, and then you can slip your thumbnail underneath of it and pull the extractor out like that. So now that we have the extractor out, now we can talk about how to remove the firing pin. So the firing pin runs from up here, again midway through the slide, and comes out. This is actually the tail end of the firing pin right here. There's a retention mechanism right here that holds the firing pin in place, and we're going to take up one of our grip screws and we're going to thread it into that retention mechanism right there. Going to turn it in kind of gently, not going super hard. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our finger and we're going to engage the back of the firing pin just a little bit and push it forward against the spring, so we can slide this out nice and easy. Once the retention mechanism is out, then you can take and drop the firing pin out the back of the slide. So while we've got it disassembled here and you're cleaning it, let's go ahead and notice some things. The firing pin itself has a machined out half moon here, and that half moon area is what engages on your retention mechanism here. So oriented like this, the firing pin is pointed toward the front there. The retention mechanism sits in here like this, and the firing pin can move forward and backwards just a little bit in that half moon, but it can't escape. Your retention mechanism here is a full circle on the bottom, but then on the top of the retention mechanism, it's a little bit difficult to see in the light here, but half of it is the same radius as the bottom radius, and then half of it is a smaller radius. The smaller radius is what is going to engage the extractor when you install the extractor. So when we install the extractor has a built-up area down here at the end that has been machined off on the one side. So we stick it in this orientation, we ride down that area that's been machined off of the back of the extractor and that smaller diameter on the retention mechanism, and then we rotate it 180 degrees, and now this machined out area here engages with the smaller diameter on the retention mechanism, and it kind of locks it in place there. So let's go ahead and start reassembling. It's important to get our orientations correct. So we're going to put the firing pin into the slide assembly, and we're going to push it gently forward When we get about right here, we're going to take it and we're going to rotate it with our finger until we get that half moon oriented over toward the side of the slide that the retention mechanism is going to be on. At that point, we can go ahead and push it forward with our finger and then take our retention mechanism and put it back in. Remember here, we want to keep that smaller diameter at the top oriented toward the outside of the slide over here, so that it engages the extractor when the extractor comes back. So I'm pushing gently in with the firing pin and then just kind of let the retention mechanism drop into place. Now we're going to take and insert the extractor. So the extractor, you're inserting it with the claw pointed toward the outside. Slide it right up in there until it's flush. If it hangs up here and you can't get it back, it's likely that your retention mechanism is oriented incorrectly, and you might have to pull it back apart and get it correctly oriented in there. Well, when you get it to flush there, then all you have to do is take your screwdriver and take and rotate it back over. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this is a little bit difficult to do. It's difficult to find the slot in the extractor and do that rotation. But there you can see we got it into place. There is an alternate method for taking that extractor out, and I'm going to show you that here. What you can do is just take your screwdriver and kind of push inwards here, and then when you get it back out of the slot there, then just kind of start pushing it this way. And once you get it to there, now we're just going to kind of chase it around to the 180 mark and then pull it out. And then same thing with the reinstallation. You simply put it in claw oriented outwards and then chase it around with your screwdriver until the extractor drops into place. And that's all there is to it. We just removed the extractor, reinstalled it, removed the firing pin, reinstalled it, and we are ready to reassemble the handgun. Let me know if you have any questions. Make comments below. Thanks.